ask what you should above all avoid? The crowd. You cannot coexist with it without danger. I will confess my weakness. I never return home with the same temper with which I left it. Some of the inner balance achieved is altered, and some of the passions that I had repelled reappear. Of all possible evils, none is worse than the opinion of the common people. In this era of noise and confusion, where the opinion of the masses seems to guide every step we take, it is crucial to remember the importance of remaining true to ourselves. Of possible evils, none seems more insidious than falling prisoner to collective opinion, that powerful force that can cloud our vision and divert our path. Let us avoid what pleases the majority, let us remain vigilant and cautious in the face of fortuitous temptations. In a world where superficiality and fleeting success are applauded, it is essential to remember that true strength lies in resisting the intoxication of the masses. The worst trial is the crowd. Let us seek what is best, not what is most usual, what puts us in possession of eternal happiness, not what the common people approve, the worst interpreter of truth. The crowds, blind and passive, follow without questioning, without analyzing. They walk together, like shadows, without a clear direction, pursuing ephemeral and empty illusions. It is in this chaos that we must find our center, our inner truth that guides us towards authenticity and wisdom. It is prudent to distinguish yourself from the common whenever you have the ability to take refuge in your own being. Analyze each individual. There is no one who would not prefer to be with anyone rather than with himself. I have never sought to ingratiate myself with the people, for what I know the people do not approve, and what the people approve I ignore. The tastes of the wise and of the people are opposite. To be valued by the crowd, you must make yourself like them. It will not accept you if it does not recognize you as one of its own. What matters is the opinion you have of yourself, not the one others have of you. Only by resorting to despicable methods can one obtain the appreciation of despicable people. Everything that the common people desire fluctuates from one side to the other. Let us seek the exceptional, the extraordinary, instead of settling for the ordinary and the mundane. Truth is not found in the consensus of the masses, but in introspection and self-knowledge. Those who indulge in great pleasures often end up facing great evils, because when they are possessed, they dominate the possessor. And the greater these pleasures are, the less control the one who enjoys them has, thus becoming a slave to whom the majority considers happy. Especially in these days, we must command our soul to be the only one to abstain from pleasures when everyone else rushes to them. It is time to reject the fleeting pleasures that delight the majority so much. True happiness lies in sobriety and serenity, rather than in the intoxication and frenzy of the crowd. What brings joy to the common people often lacks depth and lasting significance. We must not covet the same things as the masses, nor allow their desires and expectations to dictate our path. Instead, we must remain true to our own principles. Every joy that comes from the outside lacks foundation. On the other hand, if you were to be praised by the acclamation of the crowds, if thunderous applause were to resonate in your presence, honors worthy of a spectacle, if throughout the city you were exalted by women and children, how could I not pity you, knowing the path that leads to such popularity? It is tempting to seek acceptance and recognition, but winning the favor of the majority often requires enormous sacrifices. Would a soloist feel flattered by the loud applause of his audience, if he knew that, except for one or two individuals, it consists solely of deaf people who, to hide their disability, applaud furiously whenever they see the hands of a few moving? What if he were to learn that this same audience is often bribed in order to provide the most thunderous applause to the worst of musicians? This explains why contemporary fame is so ephemeral. The crowd generally lacks judgment to judge, and they have no ability to evaluate complexity. They are governed in this respect by the authority and opinion of others. Hence, crowd approval has little value for thoughtful people, who perceive only the echo of voices influenced by current fashions. We must carefully consider how we can shield ourselves from the influences of the masses. First and foremost, let us avoid desiring the same things as them, competition arises among competitors. Let us not have possessions that can be coveted or snatched by those who stalk us. May our life represent the least possible spoil. Few intend harm without reason. There are more who calculate than who hate. The thief leaves the one who is naked free. Even on the road, threatened by enemies, there is peace for the poor. Wisdom consists of plugging one's ears, but not with wax, as Ulysses did with his companions. Withdraw into yourself as much as possible, deal with those who will make you better, welcome those whom you can improve. Such actions are performed simultaneously, and men, teaching, learn. In the midst of the hustle and bustle of cities, it is wise to have a discreet counselor who, in contrast to those who praise great fortunes, praises the one who considers himself rich with little, who celebrates the wise person who withdraws from distractions to reflect internally. Hide in seclusion, but also hide your own seclusion. Let your seclusion go unnoticed. Boasting of seclusion is useless ostentation. Certain animals, in order not to be discovered, erase their tracks around their lair. You must do the same, otherwise, there will be those who pursue you. These are the habits of the common people, these are the habits of the most ignorant people, to penetrate into secrets is their desire. Let us remember that true greatness lies in living according to wisdom and virtue, even when the path seems lonely and difficult. Let us continue with courage and conviction. The individual swept along by the current of the masses is condemned to chaos. Blind and impulsive, he is forced to constantly adapt to the whims of reality, without control over time or his own impulses. He is a mere spectator of his own life, a perpetual mistake. For me, a few are sufficient, one alone is sufficient, and none is sufficient. The wise person does not look at what people consider bad and unfortunate, because he does not walk where the people do. And just as the stars make their journey contrary to the world, so does the wise person walk against the opinion of everyone.